I am Jeff Woodward. I'm going to talk to you today about prioritization. Things which matter most must never be at the mercy of things which matter least. That's a quote by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Objectives today are to help you understand the urgent important matrix, understand email management, and understand the paired comparison analysis table. We need to keep the important things in our life important, realizing we only have 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, etc. How you choose to spend your time is going to be up to you. It's finite, but the things we do with our time is not. We're bombarded with so many things, we have to know which ones to tackle first. I'm going to tell you a little story to start with, and this is popularized by Stephen Covey of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But he heard this speech given to a group of business students. So essentially, a guy giving this demonstration, he pulls out a big glass jar. It's about a gallon-sized jar, and he puts about a dozen fist-sized rocks into it, one at a time, until they fill up the top of the jar. When the jar is full with the rocks all the way to the top, he asks his audience, "Is the jar full?" Well, of course it is. Everyone said yes, it's right up to the top. He said, really? He reached under the table and pulled out a bucket of gravel. Then he dumped some gravel in, shook it around, and the gravel worked itself down between the big rocks, and he filled it up all the way to the top again. All right, ask them, is it full now? Well, now they're a little suspicious. Somebody shouted out no, they didn't think it was. Good, that was the correct answer. So he reached under the table and grabbed a pitcher of sand. He poured the sand in, shaking it until he got that all the way to the top. Now is it full? Well, of course, now they knew the answer, no. So he reached under that was correct. He reached under the table, grabbed a pitcher of water, poured the water in. Now it was full. So the moral of this story are, what are the big rocks in your life? A project you want to accomplish, time with your loved ones, your faith, your education, finances, teaching, etc. Those things need to go into your bucket first. Put the big rocks in first. Something that will help us to decide what are big rocks and small rocks is this urgent important matrix. It's for using your time effectively and not just efficiently. Say your boss has asked you to prepare an important presentation. You've only got a few days to put it together. You got a ton of other urgent things to do on your task list. You're anxious, you can't concentrate, everything seems to distract you. Time stressors are the most pervasive source of pressure and stress in the workplace, and they happen as a result of having too much to do in too little time. That's according to Mind Tools. So you can beat this stress. This urgent important matrix is going to help you think about priorities and determine which activities are important and which ones are urgent. Great time management means being effective as well as efficient, as we said. Now, if you look at this chart here, it's easily drawn, 4 squares. You can do this on a piece of paper. You write on your vertical axis, not important and important, and on your horizontal axis, urgent and not urgent. And you label the 4 blocks as shown here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, important activities are ones that are going to have an outcome that leads to the achievement of your goals, whether these are professional or personal. Urgent, just that, activities that demand immediate attention. A lot of times these are associated with the achievement of somebody else's goals. Imagine that. This urgent important matrix was popularized by Stephen Covey. Again, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I used to actually facilitate that course. But it was actually first made popular by President Eisenhower years ago. He used to use this to organize his daily tasks. And he used to say, what is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important. And that kind of sums up the concept of this matrix perfectly. Now, it's a powerful way to think about priorities. It's going to help you overcome the natural tendencies to focus on urgent activities so that you can keep clear enough time to focus on what's really important. You want to move away from the urgent, important firefighting block here and spend more time in the important but not urgent block, for example. First thing you want to do if you're going to use this is list all your activities and projects that you have to do, your to-do list, and try to include everything that takes up your time. Now on a scale of 1 to 5, assign an importance to each of the activities. Remember, this is a measure of how important the activity is and how it helps you meet your goals and objectives. Don't worry about the urgency right now. Once you've assigned an importance value to each activity, now evaluate its urgency. When you do this, plot each item on the matrix according to the values that you've given it. For example, the urgent, important activities are things that are a crisis, pressing problems, deadline-driven projects, etc. The important and not urgent are things that you have time to prepare for, a presentation, for example, planning, things for home as well, relationship building, recreation, empowerment. You have things that are urgent and not important, interruptions, some phone calls, some email reports, some meetings, and those we'll learn how to deal with. And many pressing matters are in this urgent, not important block. Then you also have not important, not urgent. I think you pretty much know what those are: busy work, junk mail, etc. There's two types of urgent and important activities, ones that you can foresee and ones that you've left to the last minute. The urgent and not important are activities that stop you from achieving your goals and prevent you from completing your work. The not urgent but important help you achieve your personal and professional goals and complete important work. Make sure that you've got plenty of time in this not urgent but important block. This matrix is going to help you look at your task list, quickly identify activities that you should focus on. By prioritizing the matrix, you can truly deal with the urgent issues and at the same time keep working towards your important goals. One thing that takes up a lot of at least my time is email management, and I imagine this is going to be the same for professors as well. You need to manage your email or it will surely manage you. Some of the things that I do, I've learned over the years to help keep this manageable, and I'll go over these. Keep an inbox to 0. I'll talk about these important folders and talk about a yearly PST folder. Now, how does this email look? Look at this inbox. Completely full, distracting. Do you know if there's important messages in there? Kind of hard to tell. It's just way too full. And if you look over here at the little slider, see how small it is and see how far down it has to go? There are hundreds of emails in here. Someone could call you, said they sent you an email, and it'll be completely lost. You'll have no idea where it's at. The first thing I like is the 2-minute rule. Whenever something comes into your inbox, and hopefully your inbox is going to look like this when we're done. So when you get an item into your inbox, or 2 or 3, use this 2-minute rule. Open the email and decide within 2 minutes, can I respond to this email and archive it or delete it? Or is it going to take longer than 2 minutes to deal with this email? Simple, very simple. And it's an efficient way of managing your email. So let's talk about what we're going to do with these emails, the ones that you can answer in 2 minutes. You're going to have to decide. We have these 3 folders right here, and I've made them sub to my inbox. I have an action folder, and a waiting reply folder, and a maybe sometime folder. The action folder are for the email that you open up. You can't complete it in 2 minutes, but it's an action. It's something that you need to do. The awaiting reply folder, say you've cleaned out your email box. Now you open up your action folder here. These are the things that you're working on. Prioritize them according to your urgency matrix there we just went over. So you've sent the email out. You're waiting a reply back from somebody else. move that email out of the action folder and put it in the awaiting reply folder. That's what that's for. Every now and again, you can open that folder up and say, hey, so-and-so hasn't responded to me yet. You can send them a reminder. Real easy to know what you're waiting for. Now, the other folder, the maybe sometime folder, that's kind of the not urgent, not important area there. That's some things you might want to get to sometime. You don't want to just completely delete it, but it's only if you have time. If you've cleaned out your action folder, nothing in the inbox, you got some time, go back to that maybe sometime folder and take care of a few of those things. Now, the items that you've completed and you need to archive. That action folder doesn't need to end up looking like this here. The action folder needs to look like this, empty. So when you've completed an item, take that item and drag it down. I have folders called, these are my archive folders, they're PST folders. This one's called Woodward 2013, Woodward 2012. I don't have multiple folders that hold all these subtitles. When I go to look for an email that I've responded to, I'm not going to be able to find it with tons and tons of subfolders. I'll never remember where I put it. I put everything in one folder, my archive folder, and I do them yearly. I do a new one each year. I haven't done one for 2014 yet. Nobody's perfect. I'm a little bit behind. But when you go to search for an email that someone sent you, you'll usually know a keyword or the person's name. Open up this folder, hit Control F, it'll bring up the search window. Type that term in there, it'll bring it up, bring up all the items that have that same search phrase, and you'll be able to find it a lot easier. I didn't believe this to start with, but it's something I do now, and yes, it actually works. Now we're going to talk about a paired comparison analysis table. It's going to help you work out the relative priority of a number of items. And it's useful when you don't have objective data to make your decision. And it's going to help you set priorities when there's competing demand for resources. The paired comparison analysis table shown here, I just made it in Excel. What you can do is, what you're going to do is list the things you want to compare along the top and along the side. This is a student that's trying to figure out what college to go to, and these things are important to him. Tuition, dorm, sports, etc. You list the exact same things across the top that you do down the side. Now these cells that are blacked out because we're not going to compare tuition to tuition. We've already compared dorms to tuition, so we're not going to compare it again here. That's why those are blacked out. So you're going to compare items. Let's start out tuition and dorms. First thing you do, which one of those things is most important? Well, tuition we said is most important on this, so we'll write the A right there. Tuition is most important. Now, the number is we're going to score the difference in importance by numbers. Put a 0 if it's no difference, and a 3 if it's a major difference. So, in this one we've got a 2. It is important. It's not way more important than dorms, but it is important. So we have an A2. So you go on and fill out the rest of this form here. For example, down here we've got majors compared to sports. What majors they have at that university is going to be more important, and that's going to be a 2. Okay, so once you fill this out, the next thing you're going to want to do is count. So A's, how many A's do we have? So there's 2, 3, and over here we've got 4. So that's a 4. So you count up your items A through F. Looks like E has the most with 9. And then I went ahead and figured them into a percentage just so it's easy to see which item is more important. So in this one, E, 9, is 42%. And look at the others, 19, 5, 10. This will give you a relative idea of which is most important. Now this paired comparison analysis is a good way of weighing up relative importance of different courses of action. And it's used when your priorities aren't clear. In conclusion, remember the important urgent matrix, email management, and the paired comparison analysis table. The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. and that's by Stephen Covey.